It's Wednesday. You know what time it is. Time for the hottest wrestling podcast on the planet with your hosts, the silent assassin, Dollar Bill, the cleaner, and the brain. Welcome to the Brain Trust.
Woo, 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 woo. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Ah, ah, ah.
Salutations, my friends.
So,
Salutations.
as you can see, several of our members are not here with us tonight. One doesn't have his voice, the other is in mourning. Unfortunately, good old JP suffered a death in the family. Some people may not consider it a family member death, but we do. His cat Orca had a massive seizure the other day and passed away. So we are going to share a picture that I did for him, and we're going to honor him with a 10 bell salute because he is a member of the Brain Trust family. So there is Orca. Gentlemen, the 10 bell salute. Run free at the bridge, Orca.
Meow. Take care.
Gentlemen, we had a very good show on Sunday night. I will be honest with you. I was very, very happy with how most of the matches turned out. And just like everybody knows, I've always been more of a WWE guy than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a wrestling fan.
Yes.
And AEW put on quite a few bangers on Revolution on Sunday. Can't say the same about the pre-show because I just watched the pre-show and I was not really impressed with the pre-show. I mean, the best match out of all of them was Undisputed Kingdom and Daniel Garcia versus STP. Out of the three matches that actually happened, that was the best match. And of
That's
course,
something.
Bleacher Report. You got to be kidding me. I have Bleacher Report up, so I have the results, so we can talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
This is sad. They gave the non-match a better grade than they gave the three matches that actually happened.
Oh, shit.
I could get into that.
Oh, you know what? We're going to get into that.
And I will say that
we're going to get into that.
And as a little cliffhanger, I will say I agree.
You think the non-match was better than the three matches that happened on the pre-show?
Yes, I do. Do you want me to explain now or save it?
Well, please, by all means, sir.
So what's the one thing I hear about from AEW's biggest detractors?
Tony smokes, does too much coke.
Besides that. What's that S word that all these detractors always say that AEW doesn't have?
Story.
Bingo. It didn't need to be a match because it told its story effectively. This is Chris Jericho.
The Nueve.
Yeah, the Nueve. not having respect, and this is what it like. He did the ultimate sin in Lucha Libre, which is to take your opponent's mask in front of his daughter or sister, in front of his mother, and it was effective too because you could feel it. So it didn't have to be a match, but it told its story effectively. And you know what? To be honest, as SRS said this in the moment, as it like live tweeting this, and I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't have to be the match. Like it didn't. It probably told a better story not being a match than if it was a match. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I would have to say about that. Now, reckon, you saying, and I'm guessing I could agree with you guys, or John could agree with. Like, you guys are more WWE people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna have maybe a different perspective, because I am probably the resident AEW guy.
Not only are you the resident AEW guy, you are the resident NJPW guy.
I'm the resident anybody outside of WWE guy.
The non-WWE guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna take out, or you wanna know what's happening outside that bubble, that corporate bubble?
Talk
That's
to the
all.
cleaner,
Yeah, talk to me.
which is why we always have you on the show.
Yeah.
Because we need that outside perspective.
Fuck the Fed. Yeah. And you know what sucks is like it sucks from my biasism maybe, but like, fucking Julia, I love her. I'm a huge fan of her. She was in New York City last night, and I didn't even go.
Shit.
I wouldn't even wanted to go. Like, why did NXT? Well, I also knew she was losing. Remember a couple of weeks ago when I said that they're doing it now because somebody's banged up? It was Julia. Julia's banged up.
Yeah, we've kind of figured that.
Yeah.
Stephanie looked way too fresh to be banged up.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna have They're gonna have Stephanie drop the North American title to hold the NXT title.
But they might do a double champ thing.
Yeah, they could do it.
You think
They've
so?
done it before.
Yeah.
They've done it before. Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say,
Carmelo's-
Silent?
Carmelo was a double champion.
Silent Assassin has been trying to talk for like at least a minute.
Stephanie doing double duty for Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, she'll probably you just have her go on probably the opener for the North American title, and then somewhere right before the main event she goes on for the women's title.
Or if they really make her vacate the North American, put that up in a ladder match.
That is something they could do.
That's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see what Ava and Shawn Michaels come up with in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. And the one match I hope I get to see at Stand and Deliver, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Because they had a little interaction last night before the street fight, if you saw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Well,
yeah. No, I know. We're joking around here.
I know.
Honestly, I didn't see it either because I don't have access to live CW. I have the app. I can watch it after we're done. But yeah, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. That's going to be a good match.
Some good times. Oh boy.
Well, not so much Dynamite, Chaos.
Yeah, because we always go off script. We go off the rails all the time. Yeah, it's Chaos from our wrestling groups.
No, I thought it was like Chaos for some reason.
Yeah, it's Chaos.
I All right. So let me pull up. Since you're going off of Bleacher Reports, like results and grades, I'm gonna pull that one up as well.
All right, hold on. I want to see this.
Hey, hang on one second. Hold on one second, guys. Let me make it easy.
You know what?
Well, no, because I was
I
going
do
off of. I was gonna
There you
go
go.
off of the AEW website.
Oh, there's a Bleacher Report link.
Yeah, I just want to see what their grades are.
Thanks.
All right, so I guess So our first match from AEW the pre-show 0 hour.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there
Go ahead.
because the 3 matches on the pre-show really weren't that good. I think we covered what we needed to cover on the pre-show, talking about Jericho and his non-match.
If you want, I could I was gonna just run over the results. We're not gonna talk about it. And just run over the results, just so people who haven't watched, they could at least know what happened.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
yeah, the first match was a tag team match. Ring of Honor World Television Champion Commander with Hologram defeated Big Shotty Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. Yes, I had a little brain fart there. Daniel Garcia and Undisputed Kingdom defeated Shane Taylor Promotions. We discussed Chris Jericho. That match was called off. And then the final match was pretty much just the AJ Boom 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 showcase match. And they defeated XMN Collection and Johnny TV. So we go back to live, it being Saturday or Sunday night. And you knew at that time what time it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad joke there.
Daylight savings.
Yeah. Wait, say that again, Silent?
Daylight savings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost an hour. Thank you.
Yeah. It always fucks everybody up for the first day or so.
So the kickoff to AEW Revolution live from the Staples Center. I will never fucking call it Crypto Arena. It's the Staples Center. God damn it.
Indeed. Agreed.
But yeah, I think it was like 11,000 people were there. So a very good crowd for their first Staples Center show. And it led off with MJF and the Hangman Page. Some of the notable takeaways, MJF grabbing the headset and dropping an F-bomb. That was funny. But I love the fiery intenseness he could bring. Page, he got a haircut apparently going into it. So Bleacher Report says, he looked more like his Ring of Honor days. He had long hair in Ring of Honor a little bit.
Slightly.
But yeah, no. If you've seen anything from this match in the past, 96 hours or whatever, you've probably seen the thing where MJF bounces off the rope and hits Hangman with his crotch while Hangman's in a seating position. That's a little funny. But yeah, no, it was beautiful. Hangman hit an Angel's Wing in the match. Bleacher Report gives this an A. How are you guys feeling?
I actually can't argue with that. It actually was a very good match. A little surprising that MJF lost, but I think Page needed to win just a little bit more for right now.
So,
plus, it furthers the story. Now that they're 1-1. So now this sets up to the final showdown.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially.
The Old West final showdown.
I mean, considering how AEW books sometimes, there might not be a third match. I mean, if you're watching Dynamite tonight, you got those iffy vibes if they're gonna have a third one.
I didn't really get an iffy vibe from it. I think they are gonna do it, just not right away.
So yeah, let me just two things. When MJF took that Angel Wings, it reminded me of like 90s All Japan because he fucking took a nasty fucking head bump. And
Wow.
that was the icon, like that's what made 90s All Japan, was taking those extreme head bumps. So thankfully he's all right, so that's good. But yeah, what I wanted to ask was, so Bleacher Report gave this an A. Do you guys think the grade should be higher, lower, or was that the right grade?
I think it's the right grade.
It could work. A.
I'm gonna actually give this a B plus. I thinking an A exactly. I mean, I think it was a very solid match, and also considering what else is on the show, I wouldn't go that high, but a B plus is still like an 86. Okay, so next we have
Assassin.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
No, I'm agreeing with you guys. I would give it a B plus.
Okay.
I wouldn't give it an A plus plus considering like other matches.
Yeah.
It's not Ralphie's theme paper about the rifle.
Yeah. See, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Assassin. There, I was looking on another page. But yeah. So the next match up in the night was Momo Watanabe from Stardom taking on Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. She got this opportunity because at Wrestle Dynasty back in January, Momo Watanabe won the I think it was like the Ladies International Cup or something like that, and it granted her an opportunity to compete for any championship in AEW, Stardom, CMLL, or Ring of Honor, and she chose Mercedes Moné's TBS Championship. Just some of the highlights here. The crowd was very invested in the opener, so they did kind of settle down for this match. But the transitions, one thing that Bleacher Report notes, that the transitions and reverses were seamless, and I can agree to that. It was a very very transitional technical match, which is something I love. They gave it a B minus. Do you guys higher, lower, or is that perfect?
Fair. I actually think it's fair in that one.
I think they got it right on this one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not for nothing, Moné is, I'm sorry, she's overrated.
I mean, I have to strongly disagree, but explain your case.
She is like the female version of Hulk Hogan with her politicking and wanting things her way, and that's the only way she wants it. And that's the only. I think that's personally, I think that's the only reason she's 15-0 in TBS championship matches. Because I mean, she still botches here and there. Everybody does, but I think. Do I think Watanabe should have won this match? No, because she's not a full-time AEW person. If anybody is going to beat Moné for the title, it's got to be somebody full-time in AEW. But I don't think this match deserved any higher than a B minus.
Okay.
I would have a flat out B.
Why is that?
Well, like you said, like because they grade a B minus, and mostly now that Mercedes Moné matches are the same, she wins and she's overrated. And I think with her acting the way she is, it's kind of hurting her credibility a little. Or is it going to boost up her ego?
So, I will, in the interest of fairness to her, none of these politicking stories that have been that have come out, at least with her time in WWE, nothing like that has come out during her time with AEW.
Mm.
So I feel like this is a stigma that she had in WWE that is still with her, unfortunately, because, you know, all the stories, you know, I remember WrestleMania 35, there was a huge story about her and Bayley being emotional after the tag title, and they just, you know, the internet smarks ran with it. I mean, and I think they also get confused of her confidence in it is like an ego thing. I mean, my biggest evidence is look at WrestleMania 36 when Bianca first won, right?
Right.
Look at Monet on the outside. She was holding back her happiness, her joy, and that was putting somebody else over, you know. And like, I mean, there's footage of her at Wrestle Kingdom, like just vibing and enjoying and saying hi to everybody and all that. So I think a lot of these reports are very exaggerated, and it comes with a lot today. Like, unless you did see footage of it, probably a lot of this stuff is very exaggerated. And it probably came from Meltzer.
As usual.
I mean, I'm not going off based on reports. I'm going off.
No, it's okay.
I'm just going off the vibes I see of her, like
Yeah,
and based what some people are saying about her matches on social media.
yeah.
Wow. You know.
I mean, I think, I mean, personally for me, my favorite match of all time when it comes to women, involved her, and I was there live for it. And she took me on her and Bayley took me on a roller coaster of emotions. So I might be a little biased, but you know, everybody's up for their own opinion.
Understandably so.
Yeah, like it's not wrong to think of somebody a certain way. So I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anybody of, you know, to have a different opinion than me. I enjoy people that have a different opinion than me, so we could discuss. But I will agree with you, Assassin, in that it should be a B. Nothing higher, because you could tell the crowd wasn't there after the prior match, so they needed to cool down a little bit. It was a very technical match, and going off of what I saw at Bloodsport, how the crowd reacted, or not Bloodsport, from the GCW Hammerstein show, how the crowd reacted to the Bloodsport match. There's not a whole lot of love for technical wrestling here in the United States, so
That's true. That's true.
Used to be.
Yeah, so I agree with you in terms of it was a B. So the next match is the number one contender match for the AEW World Championship at Dynasty. The Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet Part 2. Now this was a very good story match. Ricochet coming in with the jacket, and then them telling the story of, you know, Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland, were they butting heads and all that. So Bleacher Report gives this an A. How do you guys feel?
From what I've seen of it, I probably would. I'm not sure about an A. I mean, but definitely no lower than a B. I'd probably give it more like a B plus.
Okay.
I kind of was almost expecting Ricochet to get this one, but so I was surprised. I was like, okay. Although the whole thing with not like Prince Nana being like, you know, hit and then shoved, and it's like, now it's like, oh, what the fuck? And then just like leaves. It's like, holy crap.
That's really, you thought you were going to get the swerve and get the swerve turn.
Exactly.
Yep. And then, you know,
it turned out to be a swerve anyways, because Nana came back.
Yep.
And stuck with swerve.
Got the jacket back.
There was a swerve about the swerve and the swerve and the swerve,
which ended with a swerve.
Vince Russo's
it was swerving all over the damn place.
Woo!
Was they driving?
Yep. He was doing this. Yeah, there you go. That's the swerve.
Were they driving now? when I drive in the night. And I do it at home. I
Take
do it
a
at
look
home in my
at
bed. I'll be laying down on my bed, and I'm just like, and
You know what?
I
I can
even do
actually
it with
see
the
that
hands.
happening.
I can
I
see
can
that
actually
happening.
see you doing that.
See, I did it one time last year at a Dynamite, and fucking I tagged Prince Nana, and he liked it.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a very good story match. I did think that they were actually going to tell a story of Nana and Swerve splitting up, but I'm glad they didn't. One thing that I've seen online that I would love to see if they do run this back for a third time, I want to see Prince Nana and Swerve in a promo battle versus Ricochet and I'm having a brain fart. Oh Christ.
Oh God.
that battle.
Ricochet.
No,
I know, I'm just teasing.
no,
Dynasty.
Diamond Mind or whatever. Manager.
Ivy
It was
Nile.
with- no, it was
No,
with Stokely Hathaway. I was having a brain fart.
Stokely. Okay.
Yeah, pair Stokely up with
where
Ricochet.
is he?
That'd
been?
be fuck. He extra time off. He's on vacation.
Extra vacation.
You know,
Yeah.
he's entitled to it. He busted his ass last year.
Extra
Yeah.
extra secret vacation. Mm.
Hell yeah.
He's on double
Yeah.
secret probation.
Mhm. I love something in this movie. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So I would love
Can never go wrong with Animal House.
Rather.
So I'd love to see like a 2-on-2 promo battle between them two, leading up to like maybe a third match. But yeah, so A, is it Will said B plus.
I'm going
Starland,
B+.
Brain, what are you guys saying?
Assassin, you first.
As far as the match or the grade?
Grade.
Both.
Well, like I said, take it from someone who didn't watch the show, but from what I heard, the show was amazing. I'm sure the match was good, and I agree with it being an A.
Mhm.
And Swerve winning was the right call. I think him being back in the AEW World title picture would be good for him right now, because the fans still love him.
I could agree with that.
I would go A- at worst,
mhm.
but A at best.
So
It wasn't an A+ match by any
Yeah,
stretch of the
that's
imagination.
not that far.
mhm. Was there any drawbacks for you?
Yeah, I think it would have been. Well, wait a minute. Are they one? They're 1-1 now.
Yeah, they are currently 1-1.
Okay, so then yeah, this is the way it should go, and they definitely need to have a third match to settle the score. But I don't see it happening anytime soon.
The earliest it could happen is potentially Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I think that's the earliest I could see it happening too. The latest I could possibly see it happening is All In.
Yeah, that could be another. They'll probably do a cage match at All In. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I personally think Swerve would want to stay away from cage matches for a little while after what happened with Adam Page.
Yeah, but then again, he's not dealing with somebody who broke into his house and
Burned it down.
potentially, burned down his house. I didn't break it. Like Swerve didn't break into Ricochet's house.
Oh,
and
I just
potentially.
Ooh.
I don't even want to know what you're thinking.
Uh-oh.
But I feel like I have to ask.
Oh yeah. We
Please
got.
don't tell
We
me
got.
Love Child Alert.
Oh no love child alerts. No. But we got us. We could possibly have us a love angle. Think about it.
Does Swerve have a girlfriend? Oh, mind you, I was playing when I was playing WWE 2K5, I was looking up custom entries and shit. And I saw on the list it said Isaiah Swerve Scott. I said, who the fuck is that? Who has that stupid name? That was Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This fucking I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so glad they didn't. Oh, okay. He's dating Jesse Alaban. Wait, I don't know if she's in WWE still. Oh, it doesn't look like she's there anymore. But yeah, no, he's supposedly in a relationship with her.
Okay.
Former of AEW's, but so I don't know if they're gonna run that. The point I was trying to make is that I don't know if they're gonna run that romantic angle. I mean, it's something that could happen, but that probably would happen more in WWE.
Yeah, probably. Although it's possible.
It's something probably Nana's or Swerve is gonna. I mean, not Swerve. Ricochet is gonna burn Nana's jacket now. Something like that. Remember, this is AEW. We need extreme violence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like a hardcore match is just a normal match in AEW.
Yeah, pretty much.
So following that, we have Kazuchika Okada and a Brody King match. Brody King for the AEW Continental Championship. This, I guess, is a common problem in AEW, at least, maybe. I wouldn't say a problem. It's a problem through goodness, I guess you could say. It's a problem that arises because of how well the product is. There are some times where the crowd gets, burnt out. And it little comes down. This is, in my eyes, it was probably just a cool down match. It's a match that probably could have been saved for like a Dynamite or a Collision.
Mm-hmm.
So just a couple of things to note. They were cooling down. King showed up early on. But then Okada did use the belt at the end to win.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys looking at? They gave BR gave this a C. What are you guys looking at here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
C.
definitely was a C match, if at best. Because except for Brody King putting a couple of good physical situations together, the match was slow as fuck.
I was like, what's going on here, yo?
Yeah, I was actually falling asleep during this match, despite the fact that I was at work.
Crazy.
Yeah, this match was by far one of the worst on the card.
It's like, why?
Could be the connection between the two. Just didn't mix well.
Not gonna happen.
I mean, I think my personal thing was like with this match and with the tag title match, which is next. I didn't think they had a simple amount of time to tell a full story, which is why I say it could have been saved for Dynamite or Collision. Another thing that I think didn't help was that the crowd was very invested in the last match. So once again, they were a little burnt out. I think a C plus is a better grade. I don't think it should be a C. I don't think it should be a C minus, but I don't think it's good enough for a B minus. So my grade is a C plus. How you guys feeling with that?
C plus?
Yeah.
You're being generous. But
Okay.
yeah. But at least you give like a little bit extra points, so it's not like crazy.
Yeah.
You didn't give it like
Yeah.
you can go from like a 70 to a 90. You just made like maybe like like a 73 to 75, some shit like that.
Yeah, that's all it really is. It was like a 75 to like a 77.5. You know,
Yeah, it was not that good.
I mean, for me, my best description of it is a collision match. It should have been saved for like Dynamite or Collision.
Yeah,
So following that,
this was not a pay-per-view worthy match.
yes, I agree with that. And the following match, in the moment, I was even saying this is probably the worst match of the night. Once again, I think this is, like I said earlier, this is kind of AEW's problem, is that there are some matches where that are so good that it makes the rest look bad. It'll make an average match look bad. I think this was my problem with this one was definitely time, because of how I remember I had my computer here, just to the left of me I had my TV. That's where I had the pay-per-view running. I looked away once, I looked back, and it was already on to the next match. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, this match is already over. So this match, it's the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners for the World Tag Team titles. So some of the things that BR takes away is the crowd singing "We Hurt People Never Gets Old," which is absolutely agreeable. Because I was chanting it. I remember at Bloodsport when MVP came out, we were doing it. We hurt people, we hurt people, we hurt people. That's really fun.
They really need to like market that more.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, more
Absolutely.
shirts.
Definitely.
Yeah. Benjamin's running knee to the face is one of the best strikes in AEW, which I agree. I love more knee strikes to the face. They said
Just
it was
the height that he gets on that is incredible.
Yeah. He's a freak out athlete, even still at this age. So they give it a C-. Where are you guys at?
I'm not arguing that great at all.
Yeah.
This match was such a foregone conclusion. It's not even funny.
I would give it lower, but I'm going to leave it alone. Only even because I knew that the match was going to be a stinger to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is no way in any way, no way on God's green earth that the Outrunners are beating the Hurt Syndicate. No way.
Nope. Let's
put it this way.
Okay,
Let me put it to you this way. I don't think the Outrunners could beat the Sons of Texas.
I would disagree with that. So I will say this. I was extremely, extremely disappointed because I was really hoping for this to be a coming of age party for the Outrunners. They have been very, very popular when it comes to the AEW fan base. They've been gaining steam. They've been gaining momentum, especially on Collision. They've been doing a lot of work and putting in a lot of good wins. They get very good reactions. So I was really hoping this would be the match that really puts them on the level, and I was very, very, very disappointed. C-. I mean, again, this is another one that I think should have been longer. So you save it for Dynamite or Collision, so you give it more time. I think C- is perfectly reasonable for this. How do you guys feel?
Yeah.
Like I said, this match, again, definitely not pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah, even Dynamite.
C-.
I was gonna say even like Dynamite would be like.
If it still existed, this would be a classic Rampage match.
Good point. Rampage.
If Rampage was still around, it would be a Rampage match.
Yeah.
At best.
Not even Collision. Damn.
So
not even Collision. Because Collision still has some good. That's why I said at best. At worst, it would be an AEW Dark match.
Damn.
So I would say this is a Collision match.
Okay.
I would put it on Collision. Just so you have more time, to flesh it out. Especially since it's a championship match, you want probably the most exposure, and not a lot of people were watching wrestling after SmackDown.
Yeah.
So now we get on to the second half of the show where it's banger after banger after banger after banger. And I'm going to say that about the main event. It's a lot better. Before we get to it, I'm just going to give a little preview. It was a lot better than a lot of people say. But we'll get into that discussion. So first, we're going to give off the Hollywood ending, the AEW Women's World Championship between Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May. Holy fuck. So they did, I said this as it was going on, they did a fucking Taipei deathmatch spot. And I was losing my fucking shit because, so for those that don't know a Taipei deathmatch, this was, I think, created in ECW, at least if not just given the name of the Taipei deathmatch. It's basically when you tape your fists in reverse. So basically the sticky side is on the out. And then you put you do it on both hands and you put it in a bucket of broken glass. And then you take your fist out and then you start swinging. And man, even though it was only one spot, it was fucking so cool to see. And then they did a broken, like a thumbtack spot with the broken glass. That was beautiful, man. And I know, so this is one thing, right? Candice LeRae, when she was on PWG, caught a ton of shit about 10 years ago because she was like one of the first women in America to like get fucking beautiful color. Like she had a full face of red.
Oh, Crimson Mask. Okay.
Yeah, whole Crimson Mask of full red.
Oh yeah. That was
and
beautiful.
it was
I remember.
it was in PWG. It was a Guerrilla Warfare tag team match. Her and her partner that shall not be named versus the Young Bucks. And I think she got that from, it was the first thumbtack super kick spot where Matt Jackson puts on a shoe of thumbtacks and super kicks. I think that was the first time they did that. And she had a full Crimson Mask and she came up and like people were giving her shit, but she put out a shirt with that fucking image on it. It sold a ton of shirts. And I always give her a bunch of respect. So seeing both Mariah and Mariah and Toni just covered in blood, I thought it was beautiful.
That was some crazy shit, man.
Yeah. And then the callbacks with the champagne bottle, the shoe with the blood on it from the first turn. And it was just a beautiful match. BR gives it an A. I'm gonna go back and give it an A+. How do you guys feel?
I'm definitely going A+ with this match.
A+.
Wait, how many times did we say that this should have ended the show?
Oh, easily. This should have ended the show. This should have been the main event.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you.
Simply for the fact of the way they ended the match with the words "the end" on the screens.
The way the title laid on everything. Yep. That was like fucking.
The one that I will disagree. So I've seen that online as well. That take online. I disagree with it because people using it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take any shots at you guys. But I think when I see it online, I think people are using the benefit of hindsight. So before, when Tony's laying out the card, he probably doesn't know. He thinks that the best match of the night will be the world title match. You know, the Jon Moxley Edge match. That's the match that's been heavily promoted, heavily marketed. They were expecting that to be the best match of the night. Hindsight is a hell of a drug. So, I mean, we can look back at it now and say, yeah, Mariah May, Toni Storm should have been the main. I mean, if we're going to go off of best match of the night, it should have been Ospreay and Fletcher. But, I mean, hell, look at WrestleMania 18. Rock and Hogan wasn't the main event. It wasn't even the semi-main event. It was third to last.
All right, you want to go back in history on WrestleManias for matches that weren't the main event, but the best on the card? You know where I'm going with it.
Yep.
WrestleMania 3, Savage versus Steamboat.
But then you know Hogan was going to give up that spot.
Oh, I know that, but but the fact remains,
Yeah,
that the Savage Steamboat match was the best match on the card, and it was the 9th match out of 13 matches.
yeah. So I think this is the point that I'm trying to prove, that sometimes the best match is not always the main event, and sometimes the main event isn't always the best match. That's nonetheless, I think this was a fucking. There's 2 5-star matches on this show. This is absolutely one of them. I thought it was fucking amazing. It immediately went into the number 3 spot of my matches of the year so far. So like I said, it's an A. I'm giving it an A+. Brain, I believe you said also A+.
Yes.
Will and Assassin. I know you guys haven't seen the show. You might have seen clips. What are your takeaways?
Clips and stories. Well, I'm hearing, I probably would give the same grade. And even just looking, even hearing about the presentation, hearing the stories, and seeing a couple of clips and everything how it played out, I'm like, okay, maybe not. I should have ended. Like, I'm still kind of being, it should have ended the show, but even if it didn't, it still was a damn good show, a good match. So yeah, put it up there.
I would definitely
put it up there.
Plus, based on what I heard, and I did see some like clips here and there, it looked like a really brutal match.
Oh, it was. It fucking was.
Hell,
go ahead.
Maybe I would have put a semi-main event.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a valid opinion to have.
I mean, if you can't give it the main event slot, give it the last match in the main event.
Yeah.
Why not?
So, the next match of the night is the finals of the AEW International Championship Series. It's the International Championship, Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. This is Kenny Omega's return to AEW pay-per-view, the first time since 2023, I believe, probably Full Gear, if not maybe World's End. This was a phenomenal match. I would say this was a it was a love letter to Pro Wrestle. It was a very Japanese style match. I fucking loved it. Omega, people don't, I think really people don't value him. And I think it's a lot of it is because, he's not in WWE. So people don't value him as much as like people should. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They give it, Bleacher Report gives it an A. I'm actually fine with an A. This is not a 5-star match, but this is probably 4.5, 4.75 in my eyes. How do you guys respond?
Same. I'm giving it that much.
Okay.
And especially since it highlights Takeshita, which sometimes I feel like watching him regular TV, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, he feels like he's held back. Like it doesn't feel like he's showing his best sometimes on regular TV. So I'm glad he was able to him and Omega really work on a match.
Bray?
I'm definitely good with an A, and I'm saying 4.75 on the stars, 4.75. Seeing Kenny Omega come back after being out for over a year with diverticulitis,
near death,
basically, could have killed him. Legit could have killed him. But he comes back, does the whole thing where he gets injured again, just to set all this up. It's absolutely beautiful. And as another part of the takeaway from this match, AEW now has their first Grand Slam champion.
No surprise.
Yep.
Oh, no surprise that Kenny Omega is the first Grand Slam champion. And again, those flowers are well deserved.
Oh, without a doubt. Yep. He was the second World Tag Team Champion. He was the first World Trios Championship. And he was also I think the third AEW World Champion. And then he obviously now with the International, so like Brain said, the first ever Grand Slam champion in All Elite history. Honestly, there's nobody better. Nobody better. One of the founders.
I think the only belt he hasn't held in AEW is the TNT title.
And the Continental.
Yeah. All right. So he has 2 belts to go after in AEW.
Yes. What do they call it? 5 Pentagon champion? Pentagram champion?
Pentagonal.
Pentagonal. Okay.
And,
Pentagonal. Well,
and
what's the
then
opposite of a slam?
It'd just be the Pentagon champion.
Well, yeah, we'll call it
The Pentagonal
Pentagon-
champion.
Pentagonal. The Pentagonal chokehold. So, earlier we talked about my third match of the year.
Now before we go on to that real quick,
Yes.
what happens if he wins all 6 belts? He becomes a hexagonal.
Hexagonal hog dipper. The
Hexagonal.
hexagonal hog dipper champion.
Pentagonal, hexagonal, tetragonal, octagonal. He's been octagon champion.
So
No,
we're
for that he's got to go to MMA.
yeah, true. Or go to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
True, he could go to Ring of Honor.
Surprise appearance, whole crowd explodes.
Oh, please.
We're gonna go from my third match of the year candidate to my second match of the year candidate. This is the third, the trimester of it's a steel cage match. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Jesus fucking Christ. I cannot stress how fucking amazing this was. This is a proper cage match, and I'm sorry. You know what? No, I'm not going to take any shots. But what I will say is this: I saw an internet social media post, right, and it was basically it shared 2 images. One of the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher cage match. The other one of the CM Punk Rollins match from Monday night cage match, and it basically said, "Blood in WWE." Oh my God! Thank you, Triple H. This is exactly what we wanted. Blah 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 blah. Blood in AEW. Oh my God! This is what's wrong with professional wrestling. This needs to go away. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen the CM Punk Rollins match, and I probably won't because fuck CM Punk.
Agreed.
You ain't missing much.
There was no blood in that cage match. I can tell you that right now.
Wait, wasn't it? Didn't Seth Rollins get busted open?
No.
I swear to God, I thought he did.
Then that's not a proper cage match. I'm sorry. If you're in a cage, you're supposed to get busted open somewhere along the
You
line.
need some blood, man. Some blood somewhere.
Bret Noah didn't get blood, and people loved it.
I honest to God, I thought Rollins got busted open.
Yeah, I'm curious. Now.
Okay, then my fault.
Yes.
But wait, say that again.
I said I'm gonna have to rewatch that match again.
Yeah, cause I mean, from what I remember, the picture that I saw, it looked like Rollins was busted open. I guess not. But I will say, one thing I fucking hate about WWE and what they've done to cage matches. I fucking hate this so goddamn fucking much. I hate the fact that the major stipulation to win a cage match in WWE is that you got to escape the cage. The cage is supposed to fucking keep you in there and make sure nobody else comes in. I fucking hate that. It should be just pinfall submission, no escaping the cage. If you escape the cage, you should get DQ'd.
Kind of like what they do with War Games.
Interesting.
Do they do that with War Games? I don't know.
Yeah, if you leave the cage in War Games, your team gets disqualified.
Oh, that's good. But then again, I also like it where in AEW where if you leave the cage, you don't get disqualified, but you don't win the match. But it just leads to more violence. I like more violence.
Who doesn't?
Surrendering.
Yeah. Say that again?
You're basically surrendering at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a surrender.
I don't like the, but the thing is, it's like the cage match was never designed for this like show, this theatrics that the escaping the cage does.
Yeah.
And especially, I think it's like it's always stupid when I see people trying to climb over the cage. The fucking door's right there. Just tell the guy to open the fucking door. You can just walk right the fuck out.
Yeah, but it adds a little bit of a intensity to it. Adds drama to it. Especially when the guy starts chasing you to go get you to bring you back into the cage.
Yeah.
And because when you're hanging on the other side, you're still 15 feet above the ground at least.
Yeah. Which is why, it worked. Technically, it does work for WWE, but it's just one thing I always fucking hated. Getting back to Revolution, fucking Christ, some of the spots in this match. One thing I want to talk about is at the beginning of the match when Will Ospreay, like the crowd's doing his spray. You see the shot of him standing out with his arms out, and Kyle Fletcher got his finger on his ears. Such a beautiful fucking shot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think AEW, when they get up on their production game, they are really fucking good, especially with those wide angle camera shots. I fucking love it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Will.
I was looking up something on about what we were talking about steel cage matches and the rules, and because I like to researching back what you guys are talking about, and apparently, March 26th in '69 was the first time that people started winning the matches by leaving the cage.
Oh wow! I thought it was like an '80s WWF thing. Oh
no,
wow.
It was a match with San Martino and the Sheik.
Oh, but it was in WWF, right?
Yeah, but even then, before that,
or was it Capital? Was it called Capital at the time?
No, Capital was only like 2 or 3 years, because it was I think it was like by 1960 itself. That's when they made the change to worldwide, because that's like 62. I think is the year WWF left NWA.
Yeah,
if that's the history that I remember is right, that's how the timeline goes. But if you guys want to look it up just so we could, check our facts.
But there's something else interesting though. When the actual first steel cage match ever, I'm going to try to post a link in the chat.
Like
but
the 20s or the 30s?
37.
37. Yeah. Let me guess.
I'm actually looking at that right now myself.
Yeah, the Wrestling Insomniac.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it should be George Hackenschmidt, right? Is in the first cage match?
No, it was Bloomfield.
Jack Bloomfield and Count Rossi.
Okay.
Amazing man.
June 25th, 1937. The original cage was made of chicken wire and fencing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because like I said, back then it was just keep people out.
Oh, of course. But it's just definitely interesting seeing the history though.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So
that's why I say if Jim Cornette wasn't like a fucking piece of shit, I could listen to him just talk about classic wrestling all the fucking time.
I'll be honest. I listen to his podcast, and the times when he goes into the business part, it's cool.
Yeah.
When he goes to the other shit, it's like And Brian needs a chill pill.
You know what I missed? Do you guys remember WWE 24/7?
Yes.
The I think it was like on demand service
Yeah.
channel.
Yep.
I had that. Every
Oh,
month I would watch the Legends of Wrestling Roundtable. I
love
fucking
those.
loved it. Because
I
it was
love
just
those.
it was just a history lesson. That's all it
Mhm.
was. And like it doesn't matter if it was like ECW or like if they were even talking about World Class Championship. It was such a good history lesson.
Yeah, stories and everything. It's like one of those times you just sit and listen, just let them talk. Just shut up and let them talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the things about the cage match from Sunday, fucking Ospreay bloodied, he was running off, he was doing everything around the cage and the ring. It was beautiful to see. The Hidden Blade is one of my favorite finishers in all of wrestling today. So beautiful in the way, the way he sells it, or the way he shows it off, the way the camera are perfectly lined up makes it look brutal. What were you gonna say, Will?
I kind of wish it was a little bit easier to execute in WWE2K though.
Yeah. It should be one of those like corner finishers where like the spear. Like it should be a setup like the spear.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's cool. And also was also interesting when the report was saying that they had to go more hardcore in that match because of all the other previous matches that came before that had the high energy, so they had to try to keep that energy going.
Yeah, and with AEW crowd, it's like once you're there, they stay there for like the rest of your match.
Yeah.
I've plenty of times I've seen where AEW like crowds are like especially like my first Dynamite that I went to, September 2021 in Newark. It was just high intensity the whole time. Fucking crowd. It was like a takeover crowd the entire fucking time.
Takeover crowds are crazy.
Yeah, that's what I loved about fucking early days AEW, because it felt like every night the crowd was like a takeover.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good energy though. Takeover has some really intense energy.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, no, honestly, I'm pulling a Meltzer and I'm giving this the 6 stars. It's fucking beautiful. Especially like, when you see somebody with white gear, where there was like Mariah May or Fletcher, it's gonna be covered in blood by the end of the match.
Bloody hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, literally bloody hell. Which is why it makes the next match.
So I'm not gonna say it's the greatest match of the night, like obviously not. But I think this match, the following match, is a lot better than people think. So the match we're talking about is the world title main event between Jon Moxley, to me, who I will still say to this day, as much as I love Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and everybody, I think Jon Moxley is the ace of AEW. I'm going to put that on record.
Okay.
So he's a world champion defending against Rated R Superstar Kof. So this match, it started out. I think the thing was, they were doing their thing, but it just happened to be after 3 of some of the best matches. So they had to work to get the crowd back. Was it like they did have to work, so that does hinder a match? I'm guessing you guys could also agree that a crowd can change a match. It can make an average match good. So, I'm trying to get back to it. I'm sorry. I lost my notes here. It was very intense brawling because that's Jon Moxley. He's a striker. He loves his punches. So there was, the referee bump. Wheeler Yuta comes in, takes out the referee. Jay White comes in, tries to make the save, but accidentally hits Mox instead of, or accidentally hits Cope instead of Mox. So this is where a lot of people think this match sucked, which I think if you think about it in story, makes sense. So Christian Cage comes out and he cashes in his contract.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like it especially because he cashed it in during the match instead of after. So obviously he cashes in. So they have little brawls. He hits some stuff. Christian Cage hits a unprettier on Edge or Cope, but then I think it was like Yuta came in, and basically what happened was John Moxley was able to get the pin, and that's how he wins.
Was a pin.
Oh, submission. Yeah, that's right. It was
Yeah,
he got the submission
on Cage.
On Cage, yes, that's right. I apologize. Thank you, Brian.
You choked him out.
He had the submission on Cage, trying to pin Cope, and choked him out. Didn't submit, but he choked out. And obviously the ending angle is Swerve shows up to make his presence known.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
out of everything that happened in the match, the best part of it happened after the match.
So I'm going to say this, right? A lot of people think it was stupid. It was a stupid booking decision.
Okay.
Anybody here think it was a bad booking decision or a stupid booking decision?
I can't. I honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's no problem. Yeah. Brain, since I know you watched it.
Or with Christian cashing in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Fitz, can you say that one more time?
I'm saying, are you asking me what's a bad decision as far as that match being the main event, or with Christian
catching? Not so much as if it was the main event, but more of the Christian catching in, Mox winning, stuff that actually happened in the match.
Well, there was gonna be a lot of outside interference. We all knew that, and I think Christian cashing in the middle of the match, I would have had him do it after if Cope won personally. Because if you want to get the belt off of Mox, but you don't want to give it to Christian Cage, have like Cope be like, the transitional champion.
So I'm glad you said that, because I'm gonna ask Brain his opinion, and then I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. Brain, your opinion.
Well, let's start with Jay White coming in trying to save Cope and ends up blocking him with the briefcase. There's going to be a little bit of a story to deal with that.
I think they teased it tonight on Dynamite.
Yeah, with Jay White's little promo.
Yep.
Then you got Wheeler Yuta coming in and hitting Cope. And then him and Jay White fighting against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a little bit of a story with that. Then you got Christian Cage coming in and cashing in his contract. And then his whole storyline on tonight's Dynamite about, he told the referee it was going to be a one-on-one against Cope. And he didn't appreciate Mox getting involved in this, that, and the other thing. It was like, well, you're the dumbass who cashed it in the middle of a match.
Mm-hmm.
If you cash in your contract in the middle of a match, it does not negate the original match. It makes it a triple threat. I loved how he was going off about it. It shouldn't have been a triple threat. It should have been this, shouldn't have been that. I should still have my contract. Give it back to me. I want my one-on-one shot. I'm like, that's not how contracts work.
Nope.
You signed the contract. You cashed it in. You lost. You're out of luck. You're shit out of luck.
Yep.
And then, but I think it was kind of poetic justice that Mox choked Cage out instead of beating Cope. I think it was, so if they were going to turn this into a triple threat match, but not wanting to take the title off of Mox yet because they want to give it back to Swerve, which I think is going to happen at Dynasty, then this was the right decision on how they did it. So
all right. So I'm going to take on the internet right now.
Go for it. Go for it.
when don't you?
Yeah, hell, that's true. I think Christian Cage cashing in. Now, obviously, I'm going to exclude from what happened on Dynamite tonight. We're in this 78 or 72 hour period between, or 48 hour period between Revolution and Dynamite tonight. I think him cashing in the middle of the match was the perfect call, because if he cashes in on at the end, especially on Edge, right? Think about it. Why was the reason why he turned heel in WWE in 2011? Because people were still considering him in Edge's shadow. He was never up to Edge's level. People never thought he was up to Edge's level. And that's all he had to deal with in WWE. Oh yeah, you're good, but you're not Edge. So he comes to AEW, finally on his own, finally able to take a championship opportunity for himself and prove it that he can do it on his own. Who walks in the door? Cope. Edge. And then Edge gets a world title shot just out of the blue. So if Cope wins that match and then Christian cashes in to win, let's say, well, it doesn't matter. Cope won the championship before you. You're not as good as Cope.
Mm-hmm.
So you cash in during the match to take it away from Cope. Because in his mind, it's better to cash in during the match before the Cope has the opportunity to win the title. So you could take it from him. You finally take it from him after everything he's done. And then let's say at the end, right? When he's getting choked out. He's getting choked out. In that moment of him getting choked out, he sees Cope laying there. He has a thought. What if I'm not going to win the title? I'm not going to win the title. I got Moxley choking me out. If I don't win the title, if I submit or if I get choked out, Cope doesn't get to win the title neither. So that was his decision. So a lot of people are saying that, oh, it makes him look stupid. It makes him look like he tried to be an ultimate opportunist, but he failed. But he could still find solace in the fact that Cope is not world champion either. And then that's where you could start a new storyline between Cope. Like, I'll bet you $20. Cage is going to run in on that match to screw Cope. I'll bet you $20. And then they're going to build another story from there.
Of course they are, because they have to keep the title on Mox now until Dynasty.
So I'm going to say this. I don't think Swerve wins. I think Ospreay wins at All In. Because I was going to say he's going to win at Forbidden Door, which originally I thought was in June. But it's in the spot of last year's All In. So you know that week before All Out, that's going to be Forbidden Door in London.
Shit.
So, and that's to say if All In or London or if All Out is going to happen this year, at least in its normal time slot. So, I think Ospreay wins the Owen and he wins the title. I don't think Swerve wins it unless they run back Swerve and Ospreay, which I don't think is going to happen. So I guess with that, do you guys have any last comments to say about Revolution?
How about we give the show an overall grade?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna start with Brain, and then we're gonna go around the horn. So, Brain, final grade.
Gonna go
If you want-
counterclockwise?
Whatever clockwise.
Yeah, we'll go counterclockwise. We'll start with me and then go counterclockwise.
Okay. So you could do whatever grading scale you want to give it 5 stars. You want to go letter grade. You want to
I'm
do
gonna give it a letter grade.
tomatoes. Okay.
This was definitely one of their better pay-per-views. Despite it cooling down a little bit in the middle. But I would definitely give it I would give it an A minus because it did have some good. It had a good start. It had a good finish,
Mhm.
and had some really absolutely banger matches in the middle, closer to the end, but still in the middle.
Okay.
But A minus for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's good to hear. So next up, Silent Assassin. What are you at?
I would definitely give it an A minus, like John said. You had a lot of great matches near the end. The middle was a cool off with a couple of the, especially like the tag title match, and there was another match before that. MJF Hangman sounded like a solid opener with a surprising winner with Hangman.
Mhm.
And even though, you know what, as much as everyone hated the main event, I didn't hate it personally, but even if, Tony Mirage should have been main event, but I still think I would have given it the semi-main event spot.
Okay, yeah, no, that was good to hear. Did you give a grade? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
A minus.
A minus, perfect. Dollar Bill, your thoughts?
Honestly, the thing is that I mean, from the way the cards sound and the way the matches were mixed, it was kind of odd to me that you'd have like a bunch of bangers towards the end, when a main event that cooled off a little too much, and yet you had all sorts of like middling cards within the middle. It's like I think they picked up some of the middle cards a bit and given like at least like B matches. You know, it had to be. I don't think, not saying C, but at least in like more in a B level. You know, had like the A, B, kind of like a little bit flow. Like you don't have to have like A like this, but not B. Just a better rhythm. I think overall the show would have improved a little bit more. However, as it is, it would still have some great classic matches that's going to be talked about for a while, and also contenders, as you said, for match of the year. So I'm going to overall give this a B plus, just because I think the matches could have been sorted a little better. But it's like when the matches were great, they're phenomenal. When the matches were not so great, it's very obvious.
Okay,
some of those matches were bathroom breaks.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid opinion to have. So okay, yeah, no, that's very good. That was very good. I would give it an A because a lot of the things that I decide on, or at least personally how I feel whether a match is good or not, or an event is good or not, is how fast it flies by. That's a big thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like especially those early AEW pay-per-view, hell, most AEW pay-per-views just fly by for me. That means I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. And that's what happened this Saturday or this Sunday. I'm gonna give it an A because realistically, there was only one match that I did not like. There was a couple of matches that I thought were average, but most of the night we were dealing with bangers. I think it was a 9-match card.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say 6 of the bangers. You had 6 bangers.
And 3 stinkers.
Not stinker. 1 stinker. 2.
Okay.
2 Keens. 2 Keens. Meh.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
All right, so yeah, I guess that's it for Revolution.
Okay. All right. Out of all the matches,
Go ahead.
one particular spot that they did, your pick for spot of the night.
Oh, without a doubt, the Spanish Fly off the top of the cage, without a doubt.
Dollar Bill.
That's a bad call because it's like I don't feel like properly name a spot without rewatching the whole thing. Well, watching the whole thing entirely. So because there was some parts I didn't see, I was like, what the fuck? So I can't really give it a grade like that.
Okay. Assassin, I know you haven't watched it yet.
There was one spot in particular I did see, I think on Instagram or YouTube. I believe it was when Will Ospreay gave Kyle Fletcher a Styles Clash on top of the thumbtacks and Kyle landed on his dick. Yeah.
You know. I have to agree with I personally have to agree with Cleaner that the Spanish Fly off the top of the cage was phenomenal. Second best spot of the night has to go to Assassin's choice of the Styles Clash onto the thumbtacks. But I personally think that I don't know if it was planned for him to land the way he did, but Ospreay could have landed a little bit better. Because he landed flush on his hip.
Yeah.
No, he did.
You know, he landed flush on his hip, and you could see it today that he is hurting. He is hurting bad. So, but yeah, I see a Jay White versus Will Ospreay Owen Hart Cup Finals.
You know, that would actually, I would love that because for me, on a personal level, that would just be so awesome because 8 years ago, this May, I saw Jay White and Will Ospreay when they were young cubs, especially Jay White. He was excursion from New Japan, and they had the match of the night on the Ring of Honor World of the Wars 2017 pay-per-view. And although the match, I think it was after the match, Punishment Martinez, now known as Damian Priest in WWE, came out. You got your hand up? Oh, I thought you were asking a question.
Nah, it's like more like this.
But no, yeah, it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and it'd be cool to see them now in their evolved forms have another match.
Yeah, that's definitely I definitely see that coming down the line with Ospreay coming away with the cup and thus cashing in to win the take on the world champion at All In.
Yeah, and you know what? I could tell you what, man. This really what? But I'm starting to realize, like, to me, this like the Owen Hart Cup and the Continental Classic, it's just AEW's versions of the New Japan Cup and the G1 Climax.
I could see that.
The only difference being is that they're not really much, they've never really been guaranteed title shots. Like New Japan, they will guarantee a title shot. When you win the G1 Climax, you get a world title shot. Usually at the Tokyo Dome, but this year we changed it up a little bit. The New Japan Cup, you get a guaranteed shot at either the world title, the secondary title, which, you know, it was either the US or the Intercontinental, now the global heavyweight. Or like if you want the never open weight, everybody always picks the world title. And they usually get that shot at Wrestling Dotanku, I think it is. It's because it's not Dominion. But the point is, they're guaranteed title shots. You don't get that here. But I hope that becomes a thing. where you win the Owen, you get a guaranteed world title shot. You know, you win the Continental Classic. Technically, you do, but it's not the world title. You get the Continental Championship,
Yeah.
the final. So it has that like King of Pro Wrestling Championship vibes, which I'm not a fan of. But
Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
yeah. So I mean, so now that we talk about Revolution, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything you
Who
guys
do you
need to
who do
get
you
up?
see taking the Continental title off of Okada?
I think Okada holds it until next year's Continental Classic, and somebody has to beat him for the title in the Continental Championship final. Part of me wants to say I hope it's a returning Eddie Kingston, but I want Eddie Kingston to go straight for the world. See, here's the thing, right? If Ospreay or Swerve doesn't win the world title, I want Eddie Kingston, as soon as he returns, to come back for the world title.
Ooh.
Eddie Kingston needs to be a fucking world champion in AEW so fucking bad. I'm like, I will
Can't
sing,
argue with you on that one.
sing the praises of Eddie Kingston till I fucking die. I
Well,
wish
we
he
all-
enjoyed traveling to going to Japan, because I would much rather see him in New Japan, and especially because he loves Japanese wrestling more. Then again, you know,
I hear you. It's like some people just like this flavor more than the other ones.
what about you guys? What about your guys' picks?
I'm too tired to make one. Especially since it's like,
Um,
who the hell is he? Who the hell is he gonna pick?
Yeah.
Eagle
I think what they're eventually planning,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is a unification match, and we're gonna get
Which
Okada
title?
versus Omega.
International. Yeah, I would have said if there's a unification match, it would be with the International Championship.
Yeah.
And the Continental Classic.
See, I'll be honest, like I was really hoping when they brought it out, I was really hoping the International Championship would be a title that they would allow to be defended in different promotions.
Yeah.
Like I would always wanted that. Like I wanted a title that an AEW superstar could go out different promotions across the world and defend that title. Now, Konosuke Takeshita was actually doing that. He was having matches in Germany. I think in Germany. I'm not 100% sure. He was having matches in England. He was having matches in Mexico, in Japan for the world title. He was having it in multiple promotions in Japan, in DDT and in New Japan.
Shoot.
Yeah, so that's one thing I was really, 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 really hoping. That's what I'm hoping with Omega, is that he could go out, defend the AEW World Champion or International Championship in multiple promotions.
Mm-hmm. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. I could see that.
Yeah,
So much.
I got a question. Who do you guys think is going to win the New Japan Cup?
I haven't seen the participants, so I don't know.
No, yeah,
Oh.
they're already like halfway through.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
He is not in it. I think he got eliminated.
Okay. Well,
He
Yeah,
wasn't even in it.
my pick just went out the window.
He wasn't even in the bracket.
Okay. Now, let's talk about New Japan for a minute
Okay.
and somebody possibly returning to New Japan.
Okay.
The King of Strong Style.
Oh yeah.
So,
Apparently, his contract in WWE is up in the next month or two. And with him losing the U.S. title to LA Knight, it doesn't look like he's going to even have anything to do with WrestleMania.
okay, so from one thing I wanted to say, from what I saw SRS. I don't know if he's updated since, but I know he actually turned it down. Like early, he disputed that. he said that from everybody's that he's heard, at least it hasn't been making the rounds. As in, like, nobody has been really saying anything about it in terms of they haven't, like, it's not a topic that's been discussed. They haven't, like, known. So there's not a, they don't, at least what I'm trying to say is that from the people he's talked to in WWE, they haven't heard anything about it.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Well, you know what? Getting back to Takeshita for a second, you can't really be upset because he still does have a championship.
Oh, I just want to. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. When you talked about unifying the titles, right?
Yeah.
Was that just like a thought in your head, or did you actually hear something about that?
I've seen a few comments along the line where it's probably going to be a unification match between Okada and Omega, possibly at All In.
I just got something from SRS. Long story short, I'm a subscriber to the Fightful Select, and speak of the devil, AEW possibly consolidating titles. There could be less titles in AEW before long. With Kenny Omega winning the international title at Revolution, many have discussed the possibility of unifying AEW titles. The common possibility was that Okada's Continental title being merged with the international title in some capacity. Well, good news for those that have wanted it. AEW sources that Fightful has spoken to claim that the combination has been pitched dating back a number of months, to the point that many in the company have considered them firm creative plans. We have not heard specifically who would be carrying that torch, or if the titles would form something collectively or be carried together or rebranded as a unified championship. So that is straight from SRS.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Mhm.
Yep. And I'm going to check right now.
As opposed from Dave Meltzer, which is straight from the horse's ass. But as I was saying about Takeshita, I mean, he's really can't complain about losing his international championship because he still has a championship to defend, just not in AEW. Or he can if he wants, but
yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I haven't heard anything or at least he hasn't said anything about the Nakamura situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me check the SmackDown groups.
who, Meltzer?
No, SRS and Fightful. Okay, here. It's in backstage news from SmackDown. This email was sent yesterday at 1 o'clock. When asking around in WWE, nobody we talked to had heard anything to lend credibility to Shinsuke Nakamura leaving WWE. Those rumors floated online this weekend.
I still think it's a good possibility he does.
Um,
And
Mhm.
if he does, I think he's going home. He's going back to New Japan.
So I will say this. As much as I would want him to go home, and as much as I would want him to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the case. I think he goes to AEW. Considering the fact that his now primary residence is Florida, and he's been known, he's a quite frequent attendee at the Gracie MMA camp that's down there. I know I see pictures of him, Sumi, and Sakai all the time in that camp. And another thing I've heard is that he has actually been somewhat of a support system for Japanese wrestlers that come over to the United States. They'll stay with him and his wife for a couple of months just so they could get situated, and he helps Japanese wrestlers get acclimatized to the United States. So that's why I don't think he's going to go back just yet. I do think he eventually has his retirement match in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I don't think it's going to be. I think if he does get released, his first destination is going to be AEW.
Mm-hmm.
See, I really don't see him in AEW because how many WWE guys have gone from WWE to AEW and they've done nothing with them?
Yep.
Penta is fucking working main event this week. I mean, there's a lot of people you could say the same from other promotions to WWE. I always hate this thing that if you leave WWE, you can't work for another fucking promotion, or you get this stigma of working for another promotion. It's like, okay, so they got released from WWE. Where the fuck else are they supposed to go? Especially with a fucking with a name that they could fucking work at.
Yeah, someplace there.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he wouldn't be used in AEW. I'm just saying that based on their past track record with names from WWE, they have not used them to their full capacity.
I mean, John Moxley, like I said, the ace of AEW.
Okay, he's being used to his full capacity.
Swerve Strickland, if you want to make a case, Tony Storm, there's a lot of people that have been used in a good capacity, but we just focus on the negative. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to attack you or be rude.
Why not?
But
that's the way you are.
If I wanted to be rude, speaking about my asshole, I'd take your face and put it right next to my asshole and blow a fart. I'd give you pink eye. But I mean, I see this all the time on the internet, and it always confuses me because they all say that, but then one thing they never talk about is how many fucking ex-Ring of Honor guys and ex-AEW guys are in WWE. Like Cody Rhodes, their biggest name is using his fucking AEW gimmick. Like, he literally did not fucking change from AEW to WWE, and now he's the biggest name in the company. I mean, fucking Seth Rollins, CM Punk. The list goes on how many fucking Ring of Honor guys were stolen from Ring of Honor to go to WWE. So I mean, and they never talk about that. They never, how many TNA guys went to fucking WWE? They never bring up that. It's always the reverse. You can't go to another company if you leave WWE, but everybody in other companies should leave to go to WWE.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't go to other companies when they leave WWE. Never.
No.
They got to do something to support their families. They got to do something to support their families.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that AEW has a tendency to be bringing in a lot of people from WWE or TNA, wherever they come from, and then not using a good portion of them to their full capacity.
I would argue it's 50-50. I would argue that there are just as many, if not, I would say just as many, if not more people from WWE that are working better in AEW than they were in WWE. But, I just had a thought. This isn't TNA in the mid 2010s, where Hulk Hogan was bringing in all his fucking friends from 15 years ago. They're not bringing in people that are fucking 15 years after their peak.
Yeah, they're bringing in people
that could still go
just about at their peak, or just coming past their peak.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing that point, and I agree that they're doing. I would even say 60-40 that they are using people to their capacity or better.
Yeah. Now I'm not trying to like accuse you of anything. I'm
I
just
know you
saying
weren't.
like this is all shit that I hear online. You know.
Yeah, it's shit we
I
hear.
get grades.
All of us hear online. It's all shit that we read online. You know.
Oh fuck! I get grades.
You know. You
I'm
know.
31.
It's just like the old saying goes: opinions are like assholes. Everyone's
Everybody's
got
got
one,
one.
and everybody else thinks they stink.
See, every time I hear the word asshole, my mind immediately goes to Team America World Police. That one scene where there's three types of people. There's pussies, there's assholes, and there's dicks. It's the funniest fucking scene in the world. But yeah, no, yeah. I feel like AEW gets so much hate that's unwarranted. Like some of it's a little deserved. I'm not gonna lie. There's stuff that happens that I strongly disagree. Like you know me, like the Ring of Honor situation.
Mhm.
I wish it was like way more separate. I yearn for those fucking Sinclair days.
Oh yeah, that was Ring of Honor's heyday.
No, I would say it before Sinclair, right before Sinclair bought it, like from like 04 to like 07, 08. Oh, it was prime Ring of Honor.
All the crazy.
Morishima, Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe,
Kevin Steen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right as they were picking up. Like
Tyler Black.
Like everybody says, oh, if you had one match to show anybody, I would probably go with Kobashi and fucking Joe.
Yeah.
That match is so fucking goddamn iconic, and it's so goddamn good.
I would pick any Danielson match in Ring of Honor because 90% of his matches in Ring of Honor were really, really good.
Yeah. There's a reason why, as much as Meltzer can be boneheaded stupid, when they do their awards at the end of the year, they have the Bryan Danielson Technical Wrestler Award. That's how fucking technical he was and so goddamn good he was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you know how good Jonathan Gresham is, imagine somebody 10 times better than him. And then that's not a knock on Jonathan Gresham. That's just how fucking good Bryan Danielson is.
Okay, who did they fight tonight?
Who fought what?
Who did he fight tonight?
Oh God.
Who did who fight?
Because I didn't watch all of Dynamite tonight, but I did watch some of it.
I think it was this one.
Vinny.
Yep.
No, not you.
There's another Vinny? Oh, yeah. Vinny Pacifica. Oh, yeah.
Vinny Pacifico.
El Jesus. Eli Jesus. I was like El. And Gabriel Edos.
He's the one that was on our show, right?
No. Oh. That was Vincenzo.
Oh.
That was the left-hand guy.
The
young mobster.
It's a distance away.
Him and his buddies are called the Kibitzers.
Kibitzers. Schmitzers. Kibitzers.
So, I wouldn't mind having them back on the show again. We had a good time with them. So, all right, next week, gentlemen. What do you say? Next week we call next week the last week of the draft?
If there's anybody left.
Oh, there's still plenty of people left, bro. There's still plenty of people left.
Yeah, we're trying to drain every federation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh shit.
We have to get a list of like who's available.
Yeah, let's just do it that way because it's like
Well, I have
You
the
didn't
list of every.
Oh, it was taken.
Yeah, I have the list of everybody who's taken.
Yeah, we need one
I
another
can-
one who's not taken.
Well, just bring the rosters up and we'll go from there. But next week we're gonna end up starting with RPM because despite the fact that he fell asleep for the last pick, he got his last pick at Mercedes Martinez.
And that was going to be his pick.
Yeah, he said that was gonna be his pick anyway,
That was
which
funny.
is scary. But then again, who am I? I am the brain. I'm smarter than you. And you
It's
fucking
scary.
know it.
It's scary, and then you just look at our faces.
Yeah, it's a wonder our cameras haven't broken yet. Especially yours, Cleaner.
Yeah, true.
Actually, I think yours did break one time. You had to get a new one.
I think so too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually did. No, it didn't break. I just needed a new one.
You fried it because of how ugly you are.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I was giving it a break, so
There
it
you
didn't
go.
have to look at me again.
Not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, oh, I just realized something, gentlemen. We are not going to be doing the show next week.
Ooh, what happened?
I'm not going to be here.
The entire week?
Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I am not going to be in anywhere around here.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
You guys know where I'm going to be.
Yep, that's right. You're sneaking off to Italy. You got the five families have called you back to Italy.
All right, but first I got to stop in Ireland and pick up the drinks.
Oh, of course.
Got to pick up the Guinness.
Guinness.
One day.
Got to pick up the Guinness there. Then I got to stop in Sicily, pick up the grappa.
No, they just want the wine. That's all they drink.
Same difference. They'll never know the difference. Just like Irishmen, Italians can be drunks too. Give them enough of any kind of alcohol, they'll drink anything. No, I'll be down with you guys. I'll be down by you guys.
I'm in Italy. I wish I was.
Being in Italy, just drinking espressos in the middle of the damn day.
Yeah.
What work? There's no such thing as work.
Gelato every hour.
Oh, yeah.
But
You come back into mind.
so we will continue the draft on the 26th. So, gentlemen, excellent show. Love talking, love reviewing pay-per-views. But
Yes.
I think just based on the title, I think AEW went full revolution on this one.
Yeah.
Remember, the revolution will be paid by you because you had to pay for it.
It
Viva
started to get a little flat in the middle, but it reinflated and got to the finish line. Yep.
And then it stumbled at the end, like Cool Runnings.
Of course.
Why they say that? Anyway.
Because we always make movie references in our shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think AEW is slowly turning around the corner.
And somebody would say it's about fucking time.
Their
I honestly-
pay-per-views are for the most part on point. It's their weekly shows that need help.
You know what the thing was? Tony Khan said there was a long period of time where he was not as much involved creatively, but in 2025, where they really started to pick up, like, most of 2025, they've had banger shows after banger, and he's been really getting more like creative, like induced and like creatively involved, and he's been turning like he's been giving that Vince vibe of I prove that, I don't approve that. He's been, as his saying is, getting in the weeds of it.
Mhm.
It's been getting better. So,
Yep. So, all right, gentlemen. As always, excellent show.
Yep.
And again, until the 26th. Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yep.